Wanted to check my batteries here before my video. I don't know how the batteries are. It's the longest a set of batteries have been in this camera. I'm going to enjoy my bad habit. It's beer 30. I'm enjoying a beer. I didn't have much grass to cut, by the way. I cut a little grass versus having to cut everything. I still got a little bit of trimming to do, but before it gets too dark to see your hand in front of your face like it does out here in the Hillbilly Hills, I'm again broadcasting to you from my hillbilly mansion near the world's largest run Democrat shithole, Hazleton, Pennsylvania. I'm right next door. Thank God I'm out of the riffraff zone. Fetterman and that prick Shapiro, they got to go. They got signs out for them, and it's all the criminals with the criminal justice system. Excuse me, I've been sneezing. When I cut grass, I go into these sneezing fits, and I got to swallow. But anyway, I wanted to get my political opinion in there. Not, people, don't vote for those criminals. All the people, it seems, from the criminal justice system that live over here in the Heights, the hoity-toity section of this shithole where there is no crime because the cops patrol constantly right in their neighborhood, but the rest of the city becomes like the OK Corral. Don't vote for those criminals, because see, that brings them income when they bring in all this crime and riffraff. It gives them something to do. That's why the police are keeping their mouths shut and not forcing Biden out of office. You see, they kind of like their income. But let's get back to trucks. I wanted to introduce a part. And I'm going to show you what this is then. That's why that's set in there. Because a lot of people, when you start a video and they see something, what the hell is that? We'll get to this. Let me take you off the tripod, because we found all our connection points. And you would not believe, most of this is useless garbage. This was all these, I don't know what. Down there's the fuel injection spider. I saved that. That wasn't another video. And I just wanted to say Google is doing checkups on people. They're wanting your home address. You talk about communism. Anybody that opposes the emperor with no clothes, Biden, okay? They're doing checkups. They're asking for home addresses now, phone numbers. You know, they're trying to find out about you. This, I meddled this in. I tried. This is the time of the year when I want to thank like people that sponsor me, like Collis Trucks out in Northampton, Pennsylvania. They have the world's largest four-wheel drive salvage yard. This piece was original. I didn't get that, but I did get a lot of pieces for this truck out at Collis. And this is how it turned out. All the wiring, everything is pretty much copacetic, ready to go, except for this debacle here. These are going to become rubber lines because this is going to interfere. This line is ill-formed. It's way too big to even try to connect that to a radiator. Or you're not going to be able to put the proper bends in it and you're going to kink it. So it's got to go. It's got to get cut back, and I'm going to get rubber lines. And now we're going to get to the mystery part. There you go. You see that right there? That is from Crown, and that's actually a Jeep part. It's made, it says Jeeps, but it actually fits, and it will do its job. It's just smaller, and I wish they would make one for the Ford trucks. So basically, Holly Ann is going back together. There's that OFFENHAUSER intake. And here's going to be the problem that you're going to come across. There's a bolt that goes in there, and there was a bracket that came up here, and it's not going back on the truck. So I'm going to cut, I have an old stem from an old towing mirror, and it's hollowed out stainless steel tubing. It's real stainless, so that'll look real neat in there, and then I can get a bolt. We had a result to putting an old alternator in there. I don't even know if it works. I'm not really concerned about it. We'll get a new one. It's just that I got the wrong one, and that's one thing about Parts Geek. If they give you the wrong part, you have 30 days. So if you're doing a build like this, and all of a sudden everything starts going south like it did, this wiring mainly was a catastrophe. And laying out this front end, and the radiator support, since it was damaged, the front radiator support, somebody welded it out of kilter. So I have to cut the radiator support apart, otherwise that would be in the truck. But it does not benefit me when I have to do stuff like this. And I also have to, I'm going to use a GM canister up here for the vents for the fuel tanks, because she's getting dual fuel tanks. Our fuel pump disappeared thanks to Amazon. It's supposed to be here tomorrow, which I doubt. It'll probably be here Friday, Saturday. Amazon Prime is not worth the money anymore, folks. I might have got one or two things all summer, the next day or whatever, you know. That's it getting on my nerves real fast. I'm paying Amazon Prime to get parts. You know, I don't know. I gotta be careful with this. Santa Claus is going to bring me a professional tripod, and I apologize that like I said, they deleted all my old videos. They are not back. YouTube did that, and Google was wanting to know who I am, get verified, and all that other stuff. Look, folks, that is communism. When they're that worried and they want to jail their political opponents. Outlaws like that riding up and down the street at 60 miles an hour on a quad, and then they come in contact with something that weighs almost 3 tons, like this thing. This thing's almost 3.5 tons, I should say. This thing's over, what, 6,200 pounds, I think I was saying in the last video. 6,200 pounds dry weight, and it's a single cab, 6-cylinder. Like I said, I think they're saying the big block version of these trucks, single cabs, is over 7,500 pounds now. That was told to me by a guy at the dealership. He said when they dry weigh them and they give weights, they don't compensate for fuel, tire size, and extra onboard equipment, which could and the driver, which could be another 400 or 500 pounds. So that does make sense. What doesn't make sense though is when you're doing a build like this, not replacing stuff like the power steering pump, the clutch fan, and other components. And this truck, in my future video, I'm going to go pick the belt up probably next week. There's a belt without the emissions, so you don't have to put that pollution pump. In other words, I don't want to garbage this thing up. The stuff rots. It looks like crap. Look at that, what that old alternator looks like. So I'm getting an embossed, actually. That's what I ordered, was the embossed alternator. And I got some kind of alternator with a external wiring features that you have to wire in. It looked like an octopus. I don't want something like that in my truck anyway. I want something that looks factory. The embossed one is probably 80 bucks more than what I could get one on Amazon, a cheapo. So there we have it. As soon as I weld that radiator support up and I get over to, it's called Fluid Power up here. It's there's Keystone Hydraulics, Fluid Power, and all that up here. They're over here in the Valmont Industrial Park, not the Humboldt, but Valmont. And the owner's kind of quirky. He's kind of he's like a cartoon character to me, because he's always telling me how I should be doing my job. And it's like, I got 5 modified championships under my belt, and you're going to tell me how I should be putting something together? Come on, clown. But anyway, I do get my parts there. I do get what I want, regardless if he likes to tell you how to do it. Let's do this. Then no, I don't want to make myself more work than what it's worth. Do what I tell you to do. I put stock cars together, and I like stuff that's simple, because when you wreck something, you can get it apart and get it back together. And even if you have to get another one, you got a blueprint of how you set things up. So the Nissan turned out, it's still here. We got to do a flush and fill. I can't get anybody to do the flush and fill on it. Everybody's 2-3 weeks out. The paint work on both sides turned out flawless. I've really learned how to paint over the last couple of months. And painting in this heat is not a good idea, just like what happened with that Silverado truck. A lot of that, it was heat affected, but the guy, I didn't feel like holding his truck up till we had a cool day, despite the thing was an abortion anyway. It's just a work truck. If you wanted a show truck, we would have started with a better bed. We would have started with brand new factory fenders at $172 a piece to what he saw them. I think they went up. I think they're over 200 now, the factory. Everything went up about 20 to 30%. Because of this redistribution of wealth that Washington wants to go through. Good luck with that, because the primaries are coming up, and I know Pennsylvania's going red because they're collecting cell phones off the Republicans here. Somehow they're going through this Russian draconian, I don't know why anybody's even putting up with it. Half of these guys, they should be calling the state police and saying they're violating my rights, get them out of here, arrest them. The state police should be doing their constitutional job in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, but they're not. You see, they got $62 billion, or what was it, $68.2 billion of our road funds money just disappeared into the state police coffers. It tells me there's rats running loose in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. I'm not going to tolerate it as a taxpayer nor a voter. That is abuse, and it's constitutionally not legal. So I had my say, and I always do, and hopefully Google, YouTube, I tell the truth. That's why they call me Uncle Dutch. And I know I'm all full of grass and stuff. That's why I didn't show myself. I'm still going to finish my grass. And take my political message is, I don't believe in communism. It's killed more people than you'll ever know in your lifetime, and it will continue to do so. And if they try this on this soil, it's going to be a catastrophe that nobody really wants to live through. It's going to be catastrophic. And especially when food's going to start drying up this winter. I'm worried about my animals, cat food. I'm going to lay in a stockpile. Bills aren't going to get paid because I got to guard myself, because I know what I went through just last winter. And this winter is going to be just as aberrantly. I want to say everything's been offensive to me. Nobody cares if Washington, YouTube, or Google offends a veteran like me that fought for freedom. They don't care if they offended me. I don't know why that is. It shouldn't be. And just so you know, the Google number that called me for verification of who I am was from Washington, D.C. Again, I smell a rat. Thanks for watching my videos, guys.